Howdy everyone, Runt9 here, and welcome back to the final episode of Runt9 Plays Good Company. Not going to be the last time you see me playing Good Company, I can promise you that, but it is the last episode of this weekly series. And yeah, so we left off the last episode with me spending about 10 minutes trying to figure out why the logistics weren't working. Turns out all I had to do was open the logistics panel, and there were definitely exclamation points on the shelving rack and the buy zone. Mainly, the buy zone wasn't connected to the shelving rack, and that's what was causing the problem. So it turns out that if you're not dumb and you actually just, open the logistics panel, you can figure it out. So I need to kind of figure out exactly what we were doing, but for the moment, let's unpause and we should see the logistics start ticking. Slowly but surely. So I believe Scott Williams is also assigned to this one. So we've got 2 people assigned to this one. We should possibly consider bringing in more plastic and metal, but for the moment that should be fine. I believe we had someone assigned to this one. Yeah, Clarine Wolf, there's nothing for you to do yet because there's nothing on the shelves. But we do need to ensure that this logistic point is set up correctly. The circuit boards are headed that direction. Making sure that this is actually touching that shelf. This is not touching the shelf, which is why that bit is not working. So we will shift this over where it is touching the shelf from an input direction. And then they should start carrying some circuits all the way up here. They've got plenty of plastic and metal to work with, and then what this will do is this will open up Clarine Wolf to start pulling things, start pulling some circuits and bringing them out here. Now, we are in a very rough spot on money, and our circuits have run out, so not necessarily doing a great job of staying afloat, but we are about to ship out a good chunk of calculators. Did not make very much profit last week. But we are okay on money. We should survive for another week. I have no active research right now. I don't know how that happened. Let's see here. Where were we at? Probably should be looking at whatever we need to do to get into more. I completely lost my train of thought there. I apologize. You guys are probably like, did he just have a stroke? What I'm going for is trying to figure out what's going to be the best route for us to stay in just like a single industry. I think because we're starting to bypass everything else, let's go ahead and grab register array, get that researching. We certainly have some research data saved up. And so Clarine Wolf is going to get some circuits pulled on up there. We have a good backlog or a good inventory of circuits here, so I'm not too terribly concerned about it. Batteries are moving, but the batteries are pretty full up. I don't think that we have any batteries going there, so why don't we add batteries back to the small shelving rack? We will make the analysis desks also tear down some battery stacks. And why don't we pull the logistics over? Okay, so that's doing that. We are producing simple circuits now. We should hire some people to start getting some plastic going. We also are sitting on a ton of circuits, but why don't we go up here? And we actually can repurpose these tinker tables. We're just going to leave them there for the moment. We aren't going to repurpose them for anything right this second, but I am going to dump some circuits in here just to clear out my inventory. Okay, from a logistics perspective, we are doing okay. From a business perspective, we have about 50 days before we get bypassed even further in the calculator space. So what's our plan? Plastic parts there. So what I want to do is go ahead and design the next calculator that we're going to need. Now, we want to overbuild it to kind of future-proof it a bit, if at all possible. That's right, we don't want to do that for calculators because we are hitting the limits of the cases. We actually want to do that for game devices. And when is our next game device update? In about 21 days, or exactly 21 days. So how about we just hold out for 3 more weeks, and we'll go from there on figuring out what's going to be our main next step. We're going to need more logistics people down here. We're already running rough. We're shipping out a good truckload of calculators here in just a moment. Let's see where our weekly profit goes back up to. 668, definitely not good, but could obviously be significantly worse. So with where we're at, I don't think I want to start getting people on the workbench. Let's go ahead and hire another logistics person for this node. Get them hauling things around. So I believe what I was going to do over here was case production. I know that we are going to more than likely end up needing simple cases for something. If we look at case, the reinforced case and the windowed case both require, metal case requires a simple case, reinforced requires a plastic, which requires a simple. So we are going to need to make some simple cases. So let's go ahead and start that process over here. We need plastic coming into this corner shelf. Let's go ahead and set that part up. Probably go ahead and give that a little bit extra bandwidth. Those will do simple cases. These simple cases will output into this big shelving rack. And then simple cases are just going to hang out there. We're going to definitely have a good chunk of bandwidth. 120 is probably still like way overdoing it, but I think for now that's going to be okay. And then we'll add in some more workbenches to handle creating whatever the actual case type is that we're going to need. Chemistry tables, I think this is where we're going to be wanting to start some battery production of some kind. And based on where we're at on research, the best batteries we have are the double battery stack. I think we were going to look into getting the enhanced battery stacks, but I think that battery life is something that isn't a huge deal on game devices right this second. 0.4, that's easy to achieve, whereas the display fidelity is the main priority. So I think these were going to be allocated to LED arrays. So let's get these ready to crank those out. That's going to just be electronic parts into this shelf. We need to bring in some electronic parts, send those up here, input and input, output and output. And for the LED arrays, I'm not 100% sure if we're going to need them. An LED matrix is required for a 7-segment display. So we're going to need to also craft LED matrix down here for the 7-segment display. You know, I actually am not sure I want to go that route, because here's the deal. LED matrices are, or matrices are display fidelity 0.4, 7-segment displays are display fidelity 0.5. I'm gonna venture to guess though, we go into the blueprint designer and just edit this. If we look at the 7-segment display versus the LED matrix, it does take up 1 square less. So it's a little easier to squeeze in. It's 0.5 display fidelity, so 2 of those takes care of our display fidelity, whereas we would need 3 LED matrices. So yeah, we're gonna do LED arrays over here, and then from a logistics perspective, give me plenty of bandwidth. And the LED arrays are not going to go out the door. We're gonna end up adding more over here. Same thing with the simple cases. Okay, so we're gonna have plastic parts. We are gonna also end up needing to craft some beepers into a sound module. Which one is that? Monophone speaker. That's gonna require beeper metal sundries. Okay, so we are actually going to need to get some metal sundries cooking. That's going to be a basic workbench is my assumption. Rods and metal sundries. Okay. So probably what we're going to want to do is something a little bit similar. Game device market has progressed. So that's where we're going to want to take a peek at what do they request now. 0.9 display fidelity, we can get there. Sound quality, we can get there. Battery life, we can get there. In fact, we can get there very easily. We go look at our batteries. Let's just look at this blueprint. So as it sits right now, let's drag everything to the trash. We're not going to build this as it is right now. I'm just glancing at what are we going to end up needing. Okay. So a single monophone speaker is 0.6 sound quality. We really don't even need that. We're good with just a single beeper. Whereas a monophone speaker takes up more space and requires metal sundries and beepers. So if we can get away with just beepers, then, I mean, the thing is we can always throw more in here later on. A monophone speaker also takes up more space. It does give us double the sound quality bit, but I don't see much of a reason to do that. Display fidelity, though, we can drop in 2 7-segment displays, knock that out. Battery life, I mean, a double battery stack, a single double battery stack is more than we need. So that even gives us more room there. And then from a sound quality perspective, you just drop in a single beeper and like, boom, we're there on market appeal. The ecological impact is bad though, can be modified with small cases, optimizing circuits, thriftness module. So we actually don't even need the full case design that we've got. Drawback reduction, we only have the fan cooler. So let's delete this. Go back to game device. So I believe we were looking at the reinforced case. That's a 0.2 metal case, has no ecological footprint. Windowed case has no ecological footprint. Windowed case is also kind of rough to get to though. And the plastic case versus metal case. Plastic case has ecological footprint, metal case does not. So looking at the metal case as probably the best option. And then a single beeper, 2 of the 7-segment displays, and a single double battery stack. And we're there without having to do pretty much anything else. So we could honestly just beef it up a little bit more, put in a second beeper module just to future-proof it a little bit. And so that puts us almost at the top on fragility, almost at the top on ecological footprint. But I think this is a design that could very much work for us. Now, we're going to need some serious display output for the 7-segment display. The beeper requires a lot of electronic parts. I mean, the plastic parts, we're going to need to pump out a ton of them. An absolute truckload of these. But honestly, this seems like it's a solid design. Assembly time 11 seconds. So basically, we would be assembling the beepers and the beepers, the 7-segment displays, and the double battery stacks in the main facility. And we won't need very many batteries since we're only pumping out one of those at a time. So we'll need to figure out the ratios, but yeah, going with the plastic case, or sorry, no, the metal case. And from an appearance, you know what? We'll go for the wide play on this one in classy white. Totally cool. And let's go with the My First Handheld Mark II. And, you know, we could have better names, but this is basically what we've been doing the whole time. So why stop in the last episode? It's going to get us full market appeal, and I think we can ramp up to this pretty easily, honestly. So the plastic parts, I think, is going to be a pretty solid bottleneck. We'll kind of have to see how that goes. Sorry, 1 second. Ow. We need to produce the LED matrices and the battery stacks in here as well. We will probably end up needing to move this in order to craft more plastic parts. But essentially, we need a bunch of circuits. And this is where, like, actually putting down the formulas for how much production is done, how much you need, you know, doing what you should also do in a game like Factorio would be very helpful. But what I want to do is get to the point where you get shifted over to 7-segment displays, but we need to get some LED matrices and some battery stacks ready before we do that. We certainly have plenty of battery stacks, so why don't we even find a good spot for that? This is going to be display section. This is going to be case section. Why don't we put batteries? We can put it down here. Thing is, this doesn't need to be a basic workbench. I don't know where we're going to put this, but we will just move this off to the side for the moment. Yeah, just put that there for the moment. Give me a couple chemistry tables. Why not one right there and one right there? We are low on cash. So let's let the game run while we're doing this. We basically have a very short period of time before we go bankrupt. This is going to be battery stacks. This is going to be battery stacks. We're going to need to start importing chemicals and from logistics. Honestly, yeah, you can pull directly off of that and then output onto probably just a regular small shelving rack. I think that's gonna work just fine. We aren't gonna make enough money to get back in the black. Maybe. We need another research project. So it looks like ecological impact is gonna start becoming a problem. So let's see if we can figure out what might fix that. Acoustic foam, simple reinforcement, that's gonna be for fragility. Optimizing circuit is probably gonna be for ecological impact. We're not quite there yet. We need to get something in tier 7 researched. And honestly, why not enhanced battery stacks? And these are going to output here. We're going to crank this bandwidth up to almost full, and then you're going to output onto these shelves. Let's see how we're doing this week. That was a really bad profit month or week for us. We need to start getting shifted over basically as soon as possible. So let's hire a couple people to start doing plastic parts, because we're gonna need it. And I think we need to start shifting our production lines. So if we're gonna move battery stack production down here, let's have, you're on that one. Nope, now you're on that one. You're on that one. You are now on this one. So you're producing battery stacks. Those are gonna get pushed up here. We're gonna transition these to double battery stacks, which we are going to need plastic parts sent out up here. We're going to slowly scale in production. Do we have plastic parts going up there? We do. Okay. And what that means is we're going to need plastic parts and chemicals here. It's going to be a little bit rough to get that cleaned out, but we can push that the direction we need. These guys are going to get swapped over to something else. We are going to be in a very rough financial position for a moment. All right, what else are we going to need for the My First Mark II? Can actually archive that. Okay, circuit boards, electronic parts, plastic parts, LED matrix. I mean, the display fidelity is the big sink on this one. Beepers, that's easy. We can start making beepers right now. Circuit boards, electronic parts, plastic parts. Why don't we have one of you start making some beepers? We've got plastic parts going where? Circuit boards are going there, that's good. Why don't we have plastic parts going to that shelf? Is there bandwidth for it? There's not bandwidth for it. Let's drop the circuit bandwidth and then bring plastic parts in. Now you need electronic parts, easy. Circuits, got it. Plastic parts come in from there. Beepers, not room there. Okay, that's fine. We can scale down the simple circuits and output beepers to there. And that'll start getting beepers going. Don't have plastic parts yet, but that should start cranking out pretty quickly here. We've got regular battery stacks coming in. We need to move a couple LED array workers down here. You're going there. And you're going there. And then for LED matrices, we're going to need a couple more tables. Maybe even shift this one over. No, it's fine where it's at. But we can't really afford any more tables right this second. Let's also shift our simple case production. Who is your worker? Is that you? You work at that one? Okay, you now work at this simple case producer. And you work at that workbench. You now work here. Looks like I never lined up the logistics for this. We need input plastic. So plastic, plastic, output, output, and then simple cases go to either of those shelving racks. Honestly, just make your life easier, just take it to that one. I think that should probably be the same thing once we get done with these, but it's fine for now. Okay. Milestone 3 does get us conveyor belts and a welding table, and we are almost at milestone 3. This is going to be a rough week. We are still pumping out calculators, but we're going to run out of inventory on some of this stuff pretty soon. We're going to need you to make double battery stacks as well, which means we're going to need plastic parts on that shelving unit. For the moment, bring plastic parts in from there, and then output. It's going to have to be there. We do not have bandwidth for it right now, so we'll figure that out in a second. Plastic parts have not quite made it up there yet. Got battery people coming down here soon. We are in a rough spot financially. This may end up being a loss for us. I think we may legitimately lose the game at this point, because I'm not able to properly shift production over. Ideally, we would have 2 tables making the 7-segment displays, which ideally means that probably for the moment, we're going to need you guys on LED matrices. You're currently crafting something, so I can't shift you over. Let's shift you over to LED matrices, and I mean, we're going to have to start moving on these new new handhelds. And there's, as far as I know, no way to take out loans. So whatever we get, and that's just going to have to do. There is no plastic. We need to order more plastic. That's totally fair. Yeah, we took another loss that week. So let's figure out the logistics here. How many LED arrays are sitting on this shelf? A few. Not a lot, but a few. Go in there. Out there. So that takes care of those, and then you take in those. Matrices, circuits, and matrices, circuits. And I don't know if we can get plastic parts into a reasonable spot, but I'm gonna try. Maybe we can get some plastic parts onto this shelf. And then you guys can pull your plastic parts from here. And then output. And at the moment, there's no bandwidth for you guys to put anything on this shelf. So figure that out in a moment. But first, we need people actually making those things. You don't need to be making simple cases anymore. You guys need to shift over to metal cases is what we used for that design. We are right on the edge here. I need to know. Let's go to blueprints. This is how you do it. My first handheld Mark II, parts, modules. I need to know what kind of case it is. I think it's a metal case, is what we did. So metal, simple case, plastic. We just need to input some metal from somewhere. Easy enough. Metal from there. And you're making simple cases. You're going to switch over to something else. Are you currently crafting? You are currently crafting. I can't interrupt you. So you're going to shift over to metal cases because you're close to the metal that we already have. I have learned a lot from this. Learned a lot. And I do think that the next playthrough that I do, whenever that is, whether it's on stream or otherwise, is going to be hopefully much better. That's what one would hope. If we can at least get some metal cases being produced. You have no room to put circuits down. We need more people doing logistics. We are in kind of a bad spot from a logistics standpoint. Okay, have you switch over to double battery stacks as well. I believe that's just going to be a straight input-output there. Batteries in. I think you guys were kind of waiting on plastic parts. Okay. I kind of got lost in the sauce here. We're going to see if we can survive, though. We have plenty of plastic parts. We have more than enough plastic parts. We have more than enough circuits. We just need to get them up here. Okay, are we making beepers? We have some beepers in storage. Keep shipping out some calculators until I can get this figured out. So this is probably going to be a longer episode, because we've got a few things to kind of maneuver here. You don't have incoming circuits from anywhere. Circuits can go there. Circuits can go there. That'll get circuits moving. And then you have LED arrays not coming in anymore. So we need to have LED arrays actually going from here to that shelving rack. LED arrays up to that shelving rack. Actually, yeah. We want LED arrays going to that shelving rack. We want battery stacks going there. Battery stacks going there. Simple cases going to this one. Yes, simple cases going there. We're so close. So close to getting this working. Beepers. Electronic parts. Is there no input for... Yes, you need incoming electronic parts. Yep, that's... Just keep getting rid of the exclamation points. Batteries in. Batteries in. You need a batteries out. You need a plastic in. Oh no, we don't need plastic there anymore. That's what it is. So we can drain the plastic. And then that does leave us some output. Does it not? Decrease bandwidth on that for the moment. Just so I can get everything pieced together. We'll figure out more bandwidth later. Where are you guys getting plastic parts from? There? I mean, that's a long walk, but it's gonna have to do. How many are currently sitting on the shelf? We've got some plastic parts. We can start making some battery stacks. We've got everything we need to make the metal cases, and I believe we have everything we need for the full new display arrays. So just go back into logistics and just keep figuring out what we need. Beepers there. All right, so let's start pushing beepers to that shelf. We're gonna push... Got that, you've got that, you've got that, you've got that. So can we output? No, we don't have room. We do need circuits incoming. Are the electronic parts used by you? Yes. LED arrays are used by you. LED matrices are used by you. Metal cases need to go out somewhere. We need to pull down some production over here. I think we just need to get some more shelves put up. Or go start moving production over, because we are so close to fully shifting our production lines over right now. Just looking for where might have some bandwidth. We don't have circuits, we don't have LED matrices. We honestly do not need that many electronic parts. That allows me to bring the bandwidth down by 1 on that, which gives us an output for the 7-segment displays. And now we can bring the 7-segment displays up to that shelf. So that's 2 of the 4 final module types are there, with full logistics all the way for all of these. You need to stop making those. You need to stop making those. All right, metal cases, output to where? I want simple cases there. I don't want any more plastic cases. Let's shift the bandwidth down on you. Bandwidth down on plastic cases. Metal cases, output to this shelving unit. Metal cases from there, go to that shelving rack. What are you missing? Double battery stacks. Output there. Plastic isn't used at all, so just give me all the plastic off the rack. Looking for exclamation points. Ladies and gentlemen, we might have done it. 1 second. I think we might have been able to fully shift our production lines over. Let's get started. We need circuits coming in. We need more logistics people, I can guarantee you that much. But if we can just get to the point where I see some stuff popping in here, we can start assembling my first handheld Mark IIs. And that would be huge, because we don't have very long to get out of bankruptcy. And we are definitely burning through our cash right now. But the other problem is we need workers in order to do these things. Let me make sure we do have batteries going here. Do we have any batteries on those shelves right now? No. We have beepers and double battery stacks. I don't think we have anyone working on the cases at the moment. All right, you're working at that tinker table. No, you're not. You're now making metal cases. You're going to make plastic cases? No, you're actually going to make metal cases. We'll figure out the production lines. You guys are making simple circuits? Nope. You are now making these types of displays. You're making beepers. That's great. I think the problem at this point may just be logistics. Figuring out where everyone works. You're working where? You're making LED matrices. Move things along just a little bit. I think we might have this. I do think that we don't have enough logistics personnel. My lord. Plastic parts. Plastic parts and circuits are overloaded right now. We've got more than we could ever possibly ask for. Yes, we are low on funds. I am very aware. Battery production is not at peak. But do we have... We have every single part we need. Let's shift the assembly line right now over to... Hey, you stop working on that for a second. My first handheld Mark IIs. You, my first handheld Mark IIs. You, my first handheld Mark IIs. Input. 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 Output. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, we got them. Do we have enough parts? No, probably not. But are we going to be okay? Yeah, I'm hoping so. Yep, that'll work just fine. All right, I see two people. We have all of the display arrays cranking. We need more battery production. We don't need plastic going here anymore. Cancel those lines. Do we still have plastic on the shelf? Yes, we do. Take those out. The regular battery stacks are coming in all the way from down here. Honestly, I think if we just move some logistics personnel around, / hire more logistics personnel, that we can get there. So, hire you there, hire you there, hire you there. Let's see if that's enough. All we need to do is just get a few of these out the door, because they're selling for how much? $11.52 a pop, whereas the calculators were $7.15 a pop, and we didn't have full market share. Oof. This is going to be interesting if we can make this without losing. I would love to end this on a high note. You don't know how much it would mean to me to end this on a high note. I see production happening, though, is the thing. You're carrying some batteries up there. Batteries are making it here. We're out of simple cases, unsurprising. We do have simple cases just lining up over here. We don't have any logistics going there. Okay, that's fair. That's more than fair. Actually, I screwed this up just a little bit. Because what I actually wanted was to have this only be for those shelves. Whoever works at that should only be hauling from facility to facility. And then I know that this is probably an expensive way to do this. But I legitimately just want you going from... I don't want you touching the large shelf. Honestly, that's just going to have to do, and then we'll put another one over here. This is a much easier one to kind of slide in. Yep. And then I'm going to hire 2 more people designated for these 2 new logistics points. I know that we are burning through cash right now. We lost $6 grand last month, but we're slowly putting some handhelds on the outgoing pallet. All right, we also need to ramp up bandwidth on these shelves big time. So what am I gonna do? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That should give you guys more than enough to do. Now the question also is, let's take a look at this. We have metal, plastic, chemicals, and electronic parts. I believe all of those are still currently in use. Because they're using chemicals, they're using metal, they're using electronic parts, and plastic is actually still being used for... Okay, are you still making simple circuits? How about you go make batteries instead? Nobody needs to... No, hold on. You were making beepers. You were making beepers. We don't have anyone making simple circuits anymore. Our production lines are just barely scraping by. But we're going to ship out some handhelds this month, or this week. We're low on beepers. Calculator market advance. Let's just see how behind we would have been. Display fidelity, battery life, processing power. Honestly, we could have handled that just fine. But maximum price $842. I mean, we gotta just get there. How much longer do we have? 18 days? I mean, we're gonna find out very soon if... Oh, you know what? Bulldoze that. I have a much better workbench for you. Oh, wait, no, beepers are... Can you do beepers here? No, you can't. Never mind. Scooch this back down here. We'll figure out something to put there later. What can I do for you? Gonna be a chemistry table? No, electronics, duh. Is it money? Yeah, but... Okay, plastic parts, we have some from here. And circuits can come in from either place, doesn't matter. Electronic parts, beepers output to there. And then we have metal cases stacking up. We have double battery stacks just barely scraping by. You need to be assigned to beeper duty. If we can just get beeper production ramped up, honestly, forget about the research for a bit. I'm going to bulldoze this and that, and then another electronics workbench right there, making beepers. Come on. Input, input, output, and you'll have to get plastic parts from there. I know that's horribly, horribly inefficient. I'm aware, but not a big deal right now. We can probably tone down the electronic parts and probably the plastic as well. If we bottleneck there, I'll order more. But I don't think we're going to need it right this second. If we can just get the beeper production ramped up, I think everything else is keeping up for the moment. I don't think batteries are keeping up. We're going to want one more person to shift over onto battery production. I was going to scooch you over to beepers. And for the moment, until we turn a profit, the research doesn't matter. I hate what I sound like right now. I'm everything about middle management that I despise. Oh no, R&D can wait. We need to make money. I hate it. But the problem is it's incredibly accurate for the current situation. So that's my focus. Looks like we are lacking in circuits here. We don't need electronic parts going there anymore, so kill that. And if there are any electronic parts on the shelf, just put them in my inventory. However, I don't think we have circuits incoming. Yeah, how about we circuits and circuits? As long as I don't see anyone in this part waiting, I think we just fell too far behind. I don't know how we're going to get there. We've only got 3 handhelds ready to go out. We're just not getting the beeper supply. Which is crazy, because aren't we only using 1 beeper? Or did I put 2 beepers in that design? Oops. That's not where I want to be. Blueprints, my first handheld Mark II, modules. I did put 2 beepers in it. Okay. I think that was... Nope, don't fast forward. I think that's what happened. So we need to shift you to beeper production, shift you to beeper production, and then just get more people in here. Input, input, output, input, output. So plastic and electronic parts and metal, none of those are needed anymore. You need electronic parts. Well then, why did you do that, game? Electronic parts there. Okay, we're good. We're good. I got this. Okay. What is... you're complaining about metal and plastic. That doesn't matter. Do we have spare hands? No, just give me more employees. I know this is probably the wrong way to handle this, but... And I also am like, just throw more people at it. That'll be fine. Narrator, it won't be fine. We're not keeping up on battery production right now. All right, just to seed things, give me all of the batteries out of here, and I will go walk over to this shelf and drop the batteries in. Yeah, batteries are definitely a bottleneck from the small battery stacks right now. But get me over here. I will put all the batteries that I have. Anything else that I can seed with plastic or whatever? No. Try to sell modules stored in your company. You can deconstruct workstations. Okay, yeah, actually, that's a fair point. Let me get up to the outgoing zone. We basically have to make... Yeah, so I think we are going to end yet another series with a loss. As hilarious as that is, I'm going to throw everything that I got on the outgoing zone. Here's what's going to happen. Lower the bandwidth of everything else. We're not going to get that many more, so just don't even worry about it. Throw that out there, and then... sell all of those. Oh my goodness, we were taking the small battery stacks and pulling them up here. Oh my goodness. That's part of what was ruining things. We just have to ship out enough to get 32 grand. It's not gonna happen. Nope. We still lost 7 grand. Ship everything that's on the pallet. What do we got? Oh, that's right, you can't sell raw materials. We made 10 grand, but it doesn't matter. In 2 days, bankruptcy is going to occur. Right, you can't sell raw materials. It doesn't actually do that. Oh man, we are going to lose another series. Don't get me wrong, I like that there's a failure condition, and honestly, from a business economics perspective, this having a failure condition is amazingly good. I love that. And yet again, just like what happened in Gordian Quest, spoiler alert, I think that this is about the most fitting ending. This is what happens if you don't keep up with the times, is you will fail as a business. There is no truer example than what happened here. Is it going to give us one more week? If it gives us one more week, we might actually be okay. Look at how many my first handheld Mark IIs. No! One more week and we would have been okay. Oh. We were so close. If we had just pivoted a little bit earlier. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been good company. And it turns out we actually had a bad company. I can't deny bad company. This is a fun game. I'm going to be playing a lot more of this. Honestly, I think that whenever we get to a good point in City Skylines on Saturdays, we could be seeing some of this. Also, I have picked up Rise of Industry on sale. That's another game in the same vein that I'm going to want to look into. Honestly, there's just not enough time in the week to play all the games I want to play for you guys, because I would love to do more, another good company series. I feel like it would just be right up my alley. But there's going to be another game coming out tomorrow. Stick around. I don't know what it is as of the time of recording this, but there's a few different options, and I'm excited about what the different options are. But thank you all so much for the support on this series. It has been actually very popular so far on the channel. Thank you so much for all the support. Whatever feedback you've got, likes, dislikes, comments, at Runt9 Plays on Twitter. Check out the Discord link in the Linktree description and the Linktree in the description below. I'd love to have more community members come on and hang out with me and everyone else. Make sure you subscribe if you're interested in seeing videos like this in the future. We're shifting to a new series tomorrow. I'm really tired. I've got more recording to do. I'm going to just leave it off there. Twitch.tv, Runt9 plays 5 days a week, blah, blah, blah. Until the next series, I'm Runt9, and I will see you later.